Hi, here's an instructional video that will show you how to roughly set the upper thread tension on a Bernina Artista 200, 730, and this will also apply on the 180 and 185E machines. Since I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage here, holding the camera with one hand and filming with the other, I've already removed the two screws here on the top cover. Use the Torx screwdriver that's included with your machine and remove the two screws on the top cover of the machine. And of course have the machine unplugged and don't have any power going to the machine at all. That would not be a good idea. We're going to turn on the bobbin threader just to move this in and get that out of the way so we can take the cover off. And again, sorry here, a little bit of a disadvantage working with one hand. And the cover's off, and get a little bit of light on this here. And this is the area here where the top thread tension takes place. Let's see if I can get a little bit better shot here. Okay. I have the machine threaded already, again because I'm working with one hand. But if I can get in here and show you, the thread goes between there's two guides here. There's two guides here with a little plate in between, and the thread, when you thread the machine, might fall on one side of this little thin plate that's in here or the other. It really doesn't matter. While I'm showing you this area, this is a good area to keep clean because you can get some buildup in there from waxy threads, and if you do get any buildup in this area, it's going to keep these plates from clamping tight, and then you're not going to get the tension that you should on the top thread. And you'll see here when I raise the presser foot that there's a little bar there that moves this plastic disc over and allows for the thread to go through the guide easily without any tension at all. So when the presser foot is raised and you pull on the thread, there should be basically no tension whatsoever. Lower the presser foot, and again when you lower it, the disc is pushed in and there's a little spring there that puts the tension on. You should have some tension when you pull down. Again, the best way to describe this is like the way I described for the bobbin tension. It should feel like you're pulling Scotch tape off a roll, or a little bit firmer than that for the top thread tension. You want to increase the tension. There's a little dial here. This is threaded. We would want to turn this in this direction. If you were looking at the machine this way, that would be counterclockwise. And that's going to move this little disc out, threaded out, put more tension on a spring that's in here, and thus that'll clamp down on the thread a little bit more, and that will increase the top thread tension. I would say give this a try. Give it, sounds like your machine's a little on the loose side. Give it a half turn at first, and then thread the machine, lower the presser foot, pull on the thread a little bit, and you should have a decent amount of tension there. It's hard to explain. In the Bernina manual, it's actually done by using a weight on the thread, but that's still even a rough setting. The manual even suggests here for rough setting of upper thread tension, they show a distance of 7.5 to 7.8 millimeters for a rough setting, and that would be the distance between this side of this plastic plate and this one here. So even the manual shows like a rough setting to get you in the ballpark. You actually have to use the machine to see how it's functioning. Once you have this set correctly, you really shouldn't have to reset the upper thread tension on the screen. Maybe slightly a little bit depending on the type of thread that you're using or the material that you're sewing on. But by turning this in, and again looking at it this way, turning it in, I mean in a counterclockwise direction, you can just use your finger and turn this disc in a little bit. give it a half a turn, and then lower your presser foot and give the thread a little tug. You should have some resistance there. If you don't have any resistance, it's definitely too loose, but give that a try, and that should snug up your upper tension. If you have, of course, if you have too much top tension, it's going to be pulling your bobbin thread up and you're going to get looping on the top. So the idea here is to strike a balance between your upper tension and your bobbin thread tension. And if I have a bobbin here handy, the bobbin tension is set, if you can see it here, by this screw here. There's 2 screws on it. It's kind of hard to see in the video on your bobbin case. But the larger of the 2 screws, this is the one that you turn in slightly or turn out slightly to adjust the thread that is coming out of your bobbin. So give that a try and let me know how it works. Thanks.